Today, we're going to review 2025 market, starting with Q1 all the way to Q4, and we're also going to compare the previous years going back all the way to 2018 for Q4 comparing to the last 8 years. We're also going to analyze annual sales volume and going back all the way to 2018 as well. So let's get into it. So Q1 to Q4 data analysis, as you can see on Q4 of 2025, average sold price was 866,000. Sold to list ratio was 94.88%. Average days in market was 67. Total sold volume was 1,718. Total sold homes 1,718. Total sold volume was pretty close to 1.5 billion. Now, that was more than Q3 of 2025, but the Q2 was the highest. Even though our desert season is highest from January through March and going into April, and a lot of homes go under contract, so Q2 usually has the highest closed volume. As you can see, it has over 2,099. And if you look at the average sold price, has kind of decreased from Q1 all the way to Q4. We started at 923, 926, then 792, now at 866. Now, we're also seeing sold to list ratio has decreased a little bit as well. Not too much, it's pretty even. 95.31% Q1, 94.2% in Q2, and Q3 had 93.76%. Average days in market stayed more or less pretty stable. I would say started at 62, have gone to 66, was as high as 72 in Q3, then has come back down to 67. Same thing with total homes sold was 1,924 in Q1. In Q2 was a little over 2,000, almost 2,100. Then Q3 is one of the slowest for us in the desert, has gone down to 1,683, and Q4 we already went back up to 1,718. So that is a overall data for the comparing Q1 through Q4 for last year, 2025. It shows you all the data here. Average sold price, we started at 923, 866. Average days in market, we more or less stayed pretty similar, only about 5 days difference from from where we started in Q1 and ended in 67 in Q4. This is just the overall data showing how many homes sold. Okay, now let's compare what happened in Q4 compared to last 8 years, 2018 all the way to 2025. Now, Q4 is October, November, December. Now, if we look at this data, you will see that we have gone back all the way to 2018, where average sold price was 481,000, then 485,000, 613, 729, 578. Even in the crazy market of 2021 and 2022, our average price was 729,000. In 2022, it was 758,000. And these are all Q4, by the way. We're comparing only Q4 right now. And 2023, it has gone up again, 780. 2024, 845, and 2025, 866,000. So even with the high interest rate for the last 3 years, and the average price has gone up. Now, if we look at the sold to list ratio, has gone up a little bit, has come down. Back in 2018, it was 95.79%. Today is 94.88%. Now, if we look at 2021 and 2022, 2021 was 100.31% because everything was selling over asking price at that moment. Then in 2022, it has come down a little bit, 95.22%. 2023, it had actually didn't come down. It went up a little bit, 95.70%. 2024, it was up a little more, 95.77%. In 2025, it did come down. Now look at the average days in market. And we're going to look at this data here. Average days in market did come down quite a bit in 2021. We started in 73 in 2018. 2019 was same. 2020 did come down to 60 days. 2021, what average days was only 34 days on the market. Now, we have been coming back up since then. 2022, 46, 2023, 52, 2024, 57, 2025, we're at 67 now. Now, once again, this is for Q4 only of all these years. Now, let's look at the total sold volume. Total sold volume actually has been coming up for the last 4 years. Back in 2018, it was right about $1 billion. 2019 was a little over $1 billion. 2020, it was 2.148 billion. 2021 did come down a little bit, close to 2 billion. 2022, we cut it by half, and this is for Q4. Remember that 2022 we cut it by half, but since then we've been climbing back up slowly but surely. 2023 1.15, 24 1.3, 2025 1.489. So we've been slowly but surely coming back up. So let's talk about what happens in Q4 typically. So Q4, even though these are slower months, it's steadily increasing long term, even when the volume fluctuates, right? Average sold price steadily increase. 2024, 2025 show price resilience, signaling that the sellers are not heavily discounting despite higher days on the market. This is typical for the desert, where many owners are equity rich and second homeowners and not a forced seller. Prices rarely collapse in Q4 in the desert. They stabilize and set the tone for the Q1 ahead of next year. Now, number 2 is the sold to list ratio softens slightly before rebounding. Q4 ratios generally hover around mid-90s range, like it has been for the last 8 years. This reflects more negotiation. Typically, you could have a little more negotiation power in Q4 and fewer bidding wars. Believe it or not, we're still seeing some very little bidding wars if there is a property that has been on the market. If a property is marketed well and it was priced well for that current market, we do see multiple offers still to this day. Buyers are taking their time. This is the most negotiable window before the winter demand returns. And a lot of times we need to remember that. So if you're in the market to buy and you think like, okay, when is the best time to negotiate with the seller for best possible price, you want to get into Q4 because a lot of those sellers has been trying to sell for some time already, and they're ready to make a deal and move on. Days on market increase right before January, and mainly because average days on market consistently rise in Q4 for over the years. We have seen in 2018 all the way to 2025. And it's normal to fear seasonal buyers. Buyers are waiting for more inventory to show up as well. Believe it or not, we haven't had the best inventory available for qualified buyers and the buyers that has been on the market looking. We have many buyers still to this day. We can't find the right product for them. Now, sales volume is the total sold home dips a little bit in Q4 compared to the springs, which is normal. This is not a lack of interest. It's a seasonal timing. Many buyers are intentionally delaying purchase until they're back in the desert or all the holidays has passed and waiting for the inventory to expand in January. So key things to remember: balanced pace of activity, sell slow peak levels, giving buyers more time to evaluate options while sellers focus on realistic pricing. Increase negotiation in Q4. Fewer bidding wars allow for more flexibility on price and terms and concessions. Longer days on the market. Homes generally take more time to sell as seasonal buyers prepare to return in winter. Sellers begin listing strategically to capture Q1 demand. What's the difference this year, 2025 Q4? Higher price resilience despite longer days on the market. Home values are holding firmer in past Q4 periods, even as properties take longer to sell, reflecting a strong equity position and fewer distressed sellers. More deliberate buyer behavior. Buyers are taking additional time to evaluate options, focusing on value and terms rather than urgency, which is extending timelines but not reducing demand. Earlier positioning for high season. Sellers are entering the market sooner to capture winter buyers, resulting in more inventory heading into January than is typical for this time of the year. Now, we have already seen quite a bit of increase, almost 10% increase from December to January of 2026. Bottom line, Q4 reinforced that we typically see during desert shoulder season: balanced activity, increased negotiation, buyers moving at a more deliberate pace, which prices remaining stable and momentum began to build. The market is now positioned for a shift as we head into Q1, traditionally the desert's high season. So let's compare annual market analysis over the last 8 years. So if we look at this data, you'll see this is all of the data, all of it together. As you can see, in 2020 market has gone up nearly 30%. It was up by another 31.72% in 2021. Then we have been coming back down. So we're going to analyze this a little bit in closer. So now we're analyzing entire year, not just particular quarter. We're analyzing the entire year. Now, average sold price from 2018 all the way to 2025, you can see that it has increased, almost doubled. In 2018, it was 471,000. Then 2019 has gone up to almost 500,000. 2020, it has gone to 576,000. And 2021, it went up to 691,000. And ever since then, we have been slowly increasing. 2022, it was 833,000. 2023, it has come down a little bit by 10,000, but immediately 2024, we went back up all the way to 852,000. And 2025 is the highest average sold price in the history for the desert at 882,000. Average days in market for annual for last 8 years. In 2018, we were at 80 days on the market. Then we have been slowly coming back down, 77, 70, 70. In 2021, we went down to 41 days. In 2022 was the lowest, which was 33 days on the market. Now we have been coming back up. Since then, we almost doubled that, we exactly doubled it. 2022 was 33, today is 66 days on the market. 2023 was 54, 2024 was 59, 2025 is 66 days. Now, sold to list ratio, if we go back for the entire year of 2018 all the way to 2025, they have changed a lot and also stayed pretty similar in many years. 2018, it was 95.21%. In 2025, it's 94.55%. The highest that we ever saw was 2021, which was a little over 100.2%. 2022, it came down to 99.97%. And ever since then, we are more or less a difference of 1%. Otherwise, we see a difference of 1% from 2018 all the way to 2025, beside 2021 and 2022. Now, total homes sold. This is important data. In 2018, we sold 10,323 homes. At the height of the market in 2021, we sold 12,346 homes, and now we are at 7,466 homes. Despite high interest rate for the last 3 years, which has been 23, 24, 25, we're still selling homes over 7,000 homes a year. In the desert, 7,226, 7,279, and this year, 7,466. So this has been the highest in the last 3 years that we have sold this many homes. Sold volume for the entire year, going back to all the way to 2018. In 2018, it was 4.8 billion. 2019, a little over 5 billion. 2020, it was 6.4 billion. Now we're back to that. 2021 is 8.5 billion. 2022, 7.3 billion. 2023, 5.9, close to 6 billion. 2024, over 6.2 billion. 2025, now we're pretty close to 6.6 billion. So in the last 3 years, we have been slowly coming up. So this is the data for the entire last year and going back all the way to 2018. So if you have more questions, please feel free to let us know. And if you'd like to analyze any particular neighborhood, please feel free to send us a message. We'll be more than happy to analyze for you and go back as many years as possible. I love doing data analysis and compare the market with data rather than anything else. This is what I love doing. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and we'll go from there.